Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Ask the Wizard, streaming live almost daily. The biggest mistake we make when self-healing. Now, I don't know if it's the biggest, but I tell you, it's up there, and it's... Oh, God, we make this so often. So important to understand what's really going on, not what we think is going on. All right, starting the 5-minute counter. Lost my mouse. 5-minute counter now. Relax, grab a coffee, and we'll see you in. Back.
Living on the far side of town, sharing a dream with anyone. She's made it through heaven, she's made it through hell. It's just another story to tell. Have you ever felt you're missing the dream? Have you ever wished your life was like the movie on the screen? Filled with heartbreaks and fights through Hollywood nights. Making up a bar queen on the phone.
Hey, turn this down. Hey, how's everyone doing today? For those of you, so I'm in Red Deer, Alberta. So for those of you here, it is now my phone. Oh, my phone monitor isn't working. It's like minus 40 or something interesting like that. Hold on a sec. I just gotta start this one up. I forgot. So I can see who's viewing, but I can't see who is viewing. So if you wanted to kind of give a quick shout out, that would be wonderful. Thank you. There we are. And there we go. Okay. Well, I'm just going to hop right into it. This is, I like to say it's the biggest. Well, I guess it is a mistake. Oh, well, thank you. I call it releasing, and another word that is probably just as accurate and is maybe a little bit more familiar is detoxing. So we have all these detox cleanses and all that kind of stuff, and it gets rid of things, right? Now, sometimes the getting rid of things or those toxins or those things we don't need anymore isn't always pleasant. I think this is one of the biggest fallacies that's often taught. I have to say in my experience is that if you do this, whatever this is, right, then everything's just going to be roses and sunshine and smooth and all that kind of stuff. Well, I don't know. I guess maybe probably theoretically it could be. It's been my experience that it ain't. As I said in a class this Monday, it's the best work you'll ever do, but it's undoubtedly the most challenging work you'll ever do. And it's when we're releasing those things that just don't serve us anymore and maybe never did. It's in that moment that I find it so important to understand mechanically what's happening, because, and it's so easy to do, believe me, I know, we cause ourselves a lot more discomfort than we need to, and in a way we almost can at least provide a lot of resistance to that releasing process. I don't know, just cause ourselves and those around us actually a lot more trouble than it needs to be. So let's just go to Mr. Flip Chart. Okay, so I'm back. So with Reiki, that's kind of where I focus in on, but not exclusively, of course, with Reiki. When we talk about the root cause, so everything out here has, that we don't want, a disturbance, an imbalance, all those cool words, has at the very least a component, if not the actual cause, that is internal. It's one that you can't see, but you can still feel. I find so often bunched in with all that are emotions. And often a memory or memories that have an emotional charge to them. What's an emotional charge? Well, what is an emotionally charged memory? Well, an emotionally charged memory is one that when you think about it, when you're reminded about it, you feel it, and it doesn't feel good, right? It's got that charge to it. Not a good charge, hooray, right? It's got that charge to it. That's a really good indicator that whatever that is sort of, it's residing inside you, and it's playing a part in causing some of the issues in your body or in your external circumstances. And so releasing that is going to help resolve this. But here's the thing, when that's releasing, what does that look like? What does that feel like? And that's where we trip ourselves up. Let's go back to Mr. Flip Chart. So we've got a memory. And I'm going to call it a charged memory. Right? What's a charged memory? Ooh, okay. So this memory has two parts. It has the thought related to it. So if I asked you to remember, I'm just going to turn my mic up a little bit here. It's going to get louder. Hold on a sec, just so it's a bit easier for you guys. There we go. So if I asked you to remember what you did yesterday or 2 years ago or your last vacation or whatever, it conjures up pictures and movies and dialogues in your mind. So there's that thought piece, right? Then there is the emotion, and I'm just going to call it an emotion for our purposes here, that's attached to it. So when we say it's a pleasant memory, what do we mean? What we mean is when we recall that or remember it, there's the thoughts, pictures, and movies that go with it. And then there's emotions that we feel that are attached to it. Now, here's the important thing to remember. This and this are not intrinsically connected. They're not one thing. These are connected by this. So what a charged memory is it's got one of these, and it's got one of these, and it connects the two together. So the first, I guess, misunderstanding or mistake we make is we think that these and these are the same thing. So when we're dealing with releasing charged memories, or traumatic memories, that's true as well, is so often we focus on the thought portion. If I could just stop thinking about it, then it would be okay. But that's not where the issue is. The issue is not what you're thinking. The issue is what you're feeling that's attached to this. Now, again, because we don't understand that they're two separate things, it would be very logical for us to say, okay, in order to release the trauma or the charge, I need to release the thought. Because we don't understand that thought and emotion are two different things. Okay, does that make sense? Now, I'm going to use a different color. So when our being is body, mind, spirit, right? When our being is releasing these things, or detoxing is another word for it, what's mechanically happening? Well, this is what's mechanically happening. This charge is being reduced, right? So what that means is this connection is starting to deteriorate, right? Because this charge is being reduced, which means that bond, it's very much chemistry when you think about it, that bond that held those two together is now is starting to disintegrate. Now, as that's disintegrating, guess what's happening? This emotion is being released. So it's actually, our being is actually releasing it. It's actually leaving. And what's really interesting is often when that is being released, we won't even have an awareness of this piece of it. You see, because our being knows that this isn't really what matters. I mean, it may come up, but this isn't really what matters. This is what matters. This is what matters. So it's actually releasing this emotion. And this is where we trip ourselves up. So here comes an emotion. I'm going to say, anger, right? So here's this emotion of anger. So this emotion comes up. We're aware of it, okay? Now, here's what we do. We look for a reason that we're angry. See? And we're going to look in one of two places. The first place is we're going to look for a reason out here that we're angry. Because that's a very logical thing to think of. Because if here comes the anger, well, I must have a reason. I must have a reason to be angry, right? So we look for a reason to be angry out here. The second place is we dig through our memories looking for a reason to be angry, right? And this is where we do a disservice to ourselves and also to those around us. Is because we're feeling angry in a very real way, we're projecting that anger onto other people. Because we've been conditioned that I must have a reason to feel angry, which you do, but it's not the one you think. So we look for a reason out here that I'm feeling angry. So then what our mind does, because it wants to solve things, right? So our mind goes, there must be a reason to feel angry. So what is it? 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 And if we can't find anything there, what's a memory? What's a memory? What's a memory? And so what we're doing now, we're actually taking that charge as it's leaving, and we're trying to attach it to all these other things. When all these other things, I'm not saying all the time, but all these other things have nothing to do with it. We are simply releasing that emotion because we're just releasing that emotion. And so especially when you've had, and it's not just Reiki, of course, but when you've had those holistic healing experiences, whatever that looks like, and you're detoxing, and you notice especially the emotions that don't immediately have a direct cause for them, right? Those emotions that don't have a direct cause, you can just about bet that all that's happening is that charge that's been within you is simply leaving. And so, like so many things, the best action is purposeful inaction. And what I mean by that is, when you notice that, resist that urge to where is it, what's causing it, understand what it is, and choose to do nothing. Just be with that emotion. If you want to feel that anger, feel the anger. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But resist the urge, first of all, to look for what's that cause. And then kind of building into that is tell a story about it. I'm angry because. And that's what our mind will do, because if it can't find a cause, it'll create one. So resist the urge to do that. That's why I say conscious inaction is just do nothing. Understand what's going on and resist the urge to ask the question why, to look for a reason, all that kind of stuff. Because, here's the question is, okay, just 2 seconds, Cindy. And then breaking it others. Oh, hey, Elaine, how you doing? And Cindy. So Cindy's question is, I have a question. That's cool. Is it possible to take a Reiki class and give the Reiki healing to others when I'm not healed myself? Oh, that's a really good question. Hold on 2 seconds. So again, when you're releasing, when you feel these emotions, resist that urge to look for a reason and just allow yourself to be. Trust in your being's, body, mind, spirit, intrinsic wisdom to know how to heal itself. And as those emotions are leaving, and it could be emotional, it can be physical, right? Physical ickiness, but it's a detox. That's the thing. This whole healing process isn't just always roses and sunshines and la-da-da-da-da. Sometimes it's damn uncomfortable. Trust me on that one. But understand that while it might be uncomfortable, in so many cases, there's nothing we have to do with it. When your body is healing, if you cut your finger, you don't have to make it heal. You just support. You create an environment that supports that healing, right? And you don't pick at it, right? So what's happening is your being is healing, releasing this stuff. And when we look for a reason, when we come up with a reason, when we do all this kind of stuff, this is what we're doing, right? We're actually interfering with the process. So is it possible? God, I hope so. Otherwise, I have to quit teaching right now. See, and that's a very genuine answer. For me, the thing that's important to remember, I mentioned this on the weekend too, or Monday, I guess it was, is that for me, as a teacher, when I stopped becoming a student, I stopped becoming a teacher, right? And I think this is the same way. I'm going to use the N word. It's never about being healed. It's healing. So we're always in the process of healing. And really that's kind of all that matters. I think so often we get hung up on, am I done this yet? Am I done this yet? Have I healed this yet? Have I did this? Have I did this? Have I did this? But in so many ways, maybe in every way, we're all in the process of healing. We are healing machines. Healing's a verb, right? It's like running. So when do you finish running? Well, you don't really finish running. You run and then you may stop or you run again. So running doesn't really have a beginning and middle and end. It's just an action. You're doing something, right? Healing is the same thing. Our being is always in the process of healing. And in a way, thank God that we never get it done. Because I might even mention this on Monday. I can't recall now, but just think how, I'm being a bit extreme here. Think how depressing it would be if you got to the point where it was, okay, this is as good as it gets. It's not going to get any better, right? Because this is what I've discovered. And we're designed, right? We're designed to grow, heal, expand, and evolve. Is we never get to that point where it's permanently, quote unquote, good enough. Because we're designed to continually grow and expand and have new adventures and explore new territory. And it's the same way with healing. And I think the other thing with healing is trying to remember that it's not about fixing something that's broken. It's a process of getting better and better and better. And so we're all in the process of getting better and better and better. And to me, that's what matters. It really doesn't matter where you're at on your journey. What matters is you're on the journey, whatever that looks like. And this is one thing I've always focused on doing as best that I can, is letting my students, the folks that I've connected with here as well, is to see me not just on the days when it's wind beneath my wings, but on the days when I'm dragging my butt across the carpet, because I have those days too. Right. Oh, yeah. And you know what? I've been doing this coming up to 2004, so I've 19 years. And so Cindy says that makes perfect sense. Sometimes the journey feels so overwhelming. Yeah, Oh man, I get it. And you see, I think that's why it's important, the value of community, right? Because we're going to have those days where it's damn challenging. Those days when you feel like quitting, those days where you go, is it all worth it? All that kind of stuff. And so there are two things: to have that internal determination, I call it bullheaded stubbornness, right? And then also have the community. Just to know that we're on this journey together. And we all have days when we're up and days when we're down. And understand that we're not the only ones. I think that's one of the biggest things too, is I guess our fear, I suppose, that we're the only one, right? Going through a really challenging time, and it's like, we're the only one. I'm the only one going through that challenging time, and to know that we're all on this path together. And when we're high on the mountain and rocking and rolling, there's other people that are there with us. And when we're down in the valley and kicking and, screaming kind of thing, well, there's people we're there as well at times. And to me, that's what's important. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Such an important thing to remember when we're releasing, when we're healing, those emotions that are leaving, to resist that urge to try and find what's the cause. Because we end up just irritating the wound even more, as opposed to understanding our being is just doing what it knows how to do. And while it's not always pleasant, to trust in that process. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the comments. I enjoy them so much. I don't travel near none lately, so this is my primary way of reaching out to you guys, connecting with you guys, and I so appreciate it when you reach out back. All right. Share. We're all in this together. See you on the web.